You're listening to Systemic Era Podcast. The failure was designed.
Trump nominee tears apart decrepit Mitch McConnell, based on an article by Matthew Rarza. The GOP is not worried about Mitch McConnell's health. It's clearing the stage. Power, not sympathy. The article is not really about a senator's recovery. It is about a party deciding, in public, that one of its longest-serving power brokers is now an obstacle to be shoved aside. Mitch McConnell still occupies a Senate seat, but the gravitational center of Republican power has moved to Trump, Vance, and the people auditioning for favor in that orbit. That is the real story. The reporting centers on McConnell's absence since June and the questions around it, alongside the escalating Republican pile-on from within Kentucky and beyond. That is enough context. The larger point is harsher. In today's GOP, a weakened establishment figure is not protected by institutional loyalty. He becomes a target. The knife is coming from inside. The sharpest attacks are not from Democrats or neutral observers. They are from Republicans who understand exactly what they are doing. Nate Morris, the Trump pick for ambassador to Colombia and the J.D. Vance ally, called McConnell decrepit, a relic, and effectively politically finished. That is not a stray insult. It is a signal. Morris is not just criticizing age. He is participating in a succession fight inside party that rewards public humiliation of anyone associated with the older Republican order. When he says McConnell is not part of the party's future, he is not making an argument about health. He is announcing that loyalty now flows upward to Trump world, not to the Senate's old power hierarchy. Age is political cover. The contempt here is especially revealing, because Republicans spent the 2024 cycle turning Joe Biden's age into a moral indictment. Now the same script is being recycled against McConnell. That is not principled concern about geriatric leadership. It is opportunism with a worker and a microphone. The point of the age attack is not consistency. It is disposal. Age becomes the respectable language for saying an old power broker has outlived his usefulness. It turns a factional urge into a civic concern. That is misdirection. And it works because the party has trained its voters to confuse cruelty with candor. McConnell's real offense. McConnell's problem is not simply that he is old. It is that he represents a Republican style that Trumpism no longer needs to hide behind. Morris explicitly hit him on policy too, attacking McConnell's positions on amnesty, Ukraine funding, and Trump. That tells you what is actually at stake: ideological discipline. McConnell is being punished not for disappearing, but for embodying an older establishment that once managed the party through power sharing, donor networks, and procedural control. That model is being replaced by raw loyalty tests. In that system, a senator's institutional seniority counts for less than his usefulness to the movement's emotional demands. The framing is too small. The articles focus on whether McConnell is alive, capable, or simply absent risks turning a political transition into tabloid suspense. That framing is too small. The more important fact is that Republicans are already acting as if his seat is open territory, and they are doing it in the open. This is what party decay looks like when it is still wearing a suit. A long-serving Senate figure is treated as dead weight, and the people attacking him do so while borrowing the language of discipline, clarity, and generational renewal. None of that is neutral. It is a cover story for a power shift already in motion. The pattern is familiar. Authoritarian politics eats its own elders once they start serving the leader's line. It does not respect institutional memory, only submission. It does not protect its veterans, only exploit them until they become liabilities. McConnell spent years helping build a Republican Party that normalized contempt, procedural hardball, and the steady corrosion of democratic norms. Now that machine is chewing through him too. That is not irony. It is the logic of the coalition he helped make possible. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to AlterNet for today's article. With the automated voice of Rizak, thanks for listening.